To quote Donald Trump in 2015, this was low energy.
I actually saw people trying to leave, and people leaving early even before he was done. He's still speaking now.
He started to get bored and started to ad-lib, and it just turned into a rambling mess.
This is a wounded politician, isn't it?
Those of us on the outside looking at it, it didn't seem that he got the old magic.
For as much as cable news, including, as you saw, Fox, loved trashing Trump's speech last night, they loved covering it. They all showed up in Mar-a-Lago. Like it or not, Trump rates, and they now have 719 days of Trump till the next election. TV networks need ratings like never before, we'll say that. No longer flush with cash, TV news enters belt-tightening era, says The Hollywood Reporter today. CNN, ABC, and others grapple with an advertising downturn and lower linear viewership. The new mandate is to trim costs and find savings however they can while staffers weather the storm. You know who else needs Donald Trump? Democrats. This past election proved it. When running against Trump candidates, Democrats cleaned up. When running against normal Republicans, Democrats lost every high-profile race. Sarah Rumpf is here, contributing editor at Mediaite. We'll get to the politics of this in a minute, but just from the media standpoint, can the media survive, the modern political media survive without the Donald Trump factor?
Well, I mean, the media survived 2 centuries in this country before Donald Trump was a thing. So the answer is yes, of course. But I will say we all know the Trump effect. He does the craziness that he creates and the crazy reactions that he gets from his opponents are something that is a more exciting headline than Congress passes tax bill. So,
almost everything's more exciting than Congress passes tax bill. You guys cover this so well at Mediaite, and I think it's really interesting the decisions that are made, right? Even Fox interrupted the president about 2/3 of the way through and started doing commentary. But still, today there's all this questioning about, what is the responsible way to cover Trump? How quickly do we need to fact check him? How are we going to cover Trump? And the one word that seems to be missing from all of the hand-wringing and commentary is a desire to be fair. He's the former president. He's, at least right now, the de facto frontrunner, or at very least the number 2 in the polls for the Republican nomination. Doesn't it require fair coverage?
I mean, he has to be covered, and I think that a major media organization would be remiss if they did not cover him at all. I think it was the Huffington Post at one point in the 2016 cycle that announced they were going to cover him under the entertainment pages because he was a clown and not a real political candidate. Well, he was a real political candidate. He'd filed the paperwork and he was legally a political candidate, and he did actually end up president. So, that all looks a little silly in retrospect. But I would point to the 2016 primary as something that actually really still bothers me and I think is a good lesson for the media. The second Trump got into the race, he got well over 90%. I think it was something like 95, 98% of all of the TV airtime out of the Republican primary candidates. And that was a very crowded field. He got so much airtime. CNN, for example, would air live from his rallies before he was even on the stage. They would show the crowd, they showed the podium. They
did it because it rated.
Yeah, but that was journalistic malpractice.
But if he is the story,
yeah.
If everything he says is the story.
An empty podium is not the story. Covering one candidate 98% of the time over all the other candidates is not fair. The RNC was struggling with what to do, and they had that silly little loyalty oath. They tried to get everyone to sign at a debate. What the then chair of the RNC, Reince Priebus, should have done is gone to the networks and said, you need to be more balanced in your coverage. We're not going to tell you what to do, but you can't give one person 90% of the coverage, or you can't participate in any debate. With this coming along, with Trump being the only candidate, he is going to get a large part of the media coverage. But as soon as anybody else is in there, then they need to really make an effort to talk about the Republican primary. This is going to be a contested primary. He's not the incumbent. He's not the incumbent like he was immediately coming out of the White House to run in 2020. They have to cover it like a primary.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.